In our last video, we overcame our initial setbacks and officially moved on to our brand new liveaboard catamaran. As we left Gibraltar, spirits were high as we sailed along the Spanish coastline. We hung out with the locals and anchored in some epic bays. We also got unpacked and organised the essentials as we settled into yachting life.
We are picking things up in Marina de Motril, about 150 nautical miles along the coast from our original starting point in Gibraltar. There's not much to see in Motril, but that's okay because our real destination was Granada, a city about an hour's drive away. So we hired a car and hit the road. And wow, if Granada is not on your bucket list, then we highly recommend it. It's a beautiful, vibrant and historic city. We walked up to Albaicín, which is a historic neighbourhood up in the hills, and the views were breathtaking. When we got back down, we strolled around the old city and admired some of the beautiful architecture, which Granada is not short of at all. We stopped off for a bit of lunch and got these incredible sandwiches from Mastro Focato.
But sadly, it was time to get back to Runa and leave Granada behind.
Okay, we have just left Motril. We had a wonderful couple of days. We took a car through to Granada. First time Ruth and I have been there, and I think it became one of our favourite cities very, very quickly. Really cool atmosphere, really cool vibe, and we loved it. We've now set sail, and while we're motor sailing at the moment, doing about 4.5 knots. We're just going to travel along the Spanish coast and find a nice anchorage for the evening. And yeah, I've got work tomorrow, so this is my day in the sunshine before I'm back in the cabin grafting away at my job on Monday morning.
And whilst it wasn't one of the most exciting of sails, the coastline certainly made up for it. And as we approached our anchorage for the night, we knew we were in for a treat. A rugged bay, turquoise waters and a private beach. Does it get any better?
I thought I would take full advantage of this and break out the water toys for the first time.
A wetsuit in May? Really, Ruth? We're not in Scotland anymore.
Yeah, but this water was surprisingly chilly. And as the day drew to a close, we set for a Mexican night and took a moment to reflect on how lucky we are being able to enjoy this awesome lifestyle. Good morning. We have a big sail ahead of us today. We anchored last night just to the east of Motril. Had a very calm, lovely night, but today the winds are picking up, the swell is picking up. We're due 1.3 metre swells this evening, so we have got quite a large sail today. It's around 40 nautical miles. Luckily the wind is with us, pushing us downwind, and we're just heading to the west of Almeria, where we have found a little anchorage that will give us some good coverage for the night.
So we lifted anchor, said goodbye to our dreamy anchorage, and set sail towards Almeria.
So the sails are up. We are starting with one reef in both the mainsail and the foresail because Andrew, in just shy of half an hour, is going to start work and I'm going to be solo sailing again. So we've got about 18 knots of wind coming from behind us at the moment, pushing us in the right direction, which is great, but it is due to pick up. So we thought we were sensible and we put the reefs in preparation for the winds to pick up in about an hour or so.
And those winds did come. I popped up on deck to check on Ruth's progress, and she was absolutely flying along at 9 knots. But the winds continued to build, up to 28 knot gusts, along with swell beginning to approach 1.5 meters. It was all starting to push our catamaran a little bit too much. So another reef went in to both the Genoa and the main, and we headed for some shelter for the night.
So we managed to escape the big wind and big swell from yesterday. We found a beautifully calm bay that was well protected, and we dropped anchor and we slept like babies. I say slept like babies until about 7 AM where our bilge alarm started going off. Now, our bilge is sort of a cavity between your cabin and your hull, and in both port and starboard bilges there is a substantial amount of water. We went back to have a look at our engine bays, and both engine bays are like ponds. There's a huge amount of water in both port and starboard engine bays as well. You shouldn't have any water in your engine bays. You shouldn't have water in your bilges. We don't know where it's coming from. We don't know how it got there. So we need to do a bit of diagnosis today. We need to work out what's going on. And it could be a potentially fairly big warranty issue for us.
I lost rock, paper, scissors. So I put on some old clothes and jumped into the engine bay to bail some water.
Okay, it is pretty tight in here. I have my bucket and a sponge, and the water is just right down at the front of the engine bay.
And there was a lot of water. It took me about 10 minutes to get the majority of it out.
Port side is a lot worse than starboard. The engine bay is emptied. We've got a lot of water.
This is just on port.
Don't think that was meant to be in there.
So here we have port side bilge. Yeah, absolute swimming. And then starboard. I thought it was only fair if I cleaned out the port and starboard bilges. And again, there's quite a bit of water here as well. If it was salt water, it could be a pretty serious issue. But after a quick taste test, we think it's either our fresh water tanks or pipes leaking, or it could be water leaking in from when we washed down the boat. Whilst we are on the topic of warranty issues, we also have an issue with our sails. When we first started sailing, as we hoisted the sails up, we noticed that the stitching where the battens had been installed had started to come away from the sail. Now we suspect that they've been installed too tightly, and we've reported this to our broker, but unfortunately we're still waiting for an update of when they can be fixed. And this is going to mean that we're going to have to take around 5 days out of our schedule whilst they are sent off to a sailmaker, they're fixed, and then they're put back onto the boat.
But we also have lots of smaller, more annoying issues across the boat, like damage to our teak table and ripped cockpit cushions.
So across the boat, we have these nice chrome filler caps, and they cover our inlets. Makes it look nice. If we come across to our water inlet, this is meant to have a chrome filler cap on it, but it doesn't. It fell off in a couple of days. Not really what you expect on a brand new boat when you spend this much money on it.
We can't fix any of our issues immediately, so when the wind came, we hoisted the sails and continued on our journey. We're heading for Cala de San Pedro, a highly recommended anchorage that would protect us from the incoming winds. And as we approached, the scenery just got more and more beautiful. We knew we were in for a treat. Look at this stunning anchorage. We came here last night so that we could get some protection from the northeasterly wind and swell, which last night the anchorage did a great job with the high hills behind us, but we didn't realise it was going to be so stunning. There's a small little community that are living here away from the main towns and cities, and it's overlooked by the Castle of San Pedro, which is a beautiful historical landmark that is just about still standing. And somewhere, what we can't see at the moment, deep into the hills, we have heard there's a bar called Route 66 that we are very keen to try.
So we lowered the tender and went ashore to find this elusive bar. But first, we thought we should probably explore and find Pedro's castle. And whoa, this place is stunning. The further we walked, the more beautiful it got.
What a beautiful view. Oh, here she is. Hello. See the boats? That's Runa right in the middle. What a stunning, beautiful place this is. We just come for a hike to get some time off the boat, and we're so glad we did. This is absolutely beautiful. It is paradise.
And we ended up finding the bar, but we had so much fun that we totally forgot to take a video. So if you're ever passing Almeria, you'll have to take a stop and experience it for yourself. We headed back to the boat to continue the party. Well, it was Saturday night after all.
And after a glorious weekend, it was time to lift anchor and continue our sail along the Spanish coast. And we are very excited for our next destination. Please remember to like and subscribe to our channel and follow us as we adventure on Runa. We love to hear from you in the comments, and we'll see you in the next video.